Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we will discuss heat conduction through a composite wall. Myself Mr. P.S. Chaugule from Department of Mechanical Engineering, SIT COE, Yadgaon. Now what does it mean by a composite wall? So if I take an example of vacuum insulation refrigerator, then in that case there is a polyurethane and outside there is a vacuum insulation panel, right? Means the composite wall. I will take one more example. Let's take an example of this insulation at the construction. Here it is the exterior solid wall followed by a plaster, and there is some insulation to give or to get a desired heat effect. It may be heating effect. That means two or more material which are bounded together to give a desired heating effect. It may be cooling or heating, and for that the thermal conductivity of each and every slab is different, right? And if they bound together, we called it as composite slab. Now let's look into this example. In this example, these are the three slabs which are having the thermal conductivity Ka, Kb and Kc, which are bounded together. Now T1 is the temperature of wall surface and T2 is the temperature of wall surface at the other side, and Ta, Tb, C are the wall surfaces in between slab A and B. If I say this as a slab A and this as a slab B, then this temperature is called as an interface temperature. Similarly, TBC is the interface temperature, and Ka, Kb, Kc are the thermal conductivities. Remember here, Ka, Kb, Kc are three different thermal conductivities. Now if I convert this into a electrical analogy, we need to show it in this way. This is the first resistance because of this first slab A. Second resistance for the second slab. This third resistance is for the third slab. Now as you know, as we have seen in the previous lecture, thermal resistance, which is equal to L upon Ka. Now here A, which is the area of cross section, which is the same. Remember that this area of cross section is perpendicular to the heat direction. So this is the heat direction, and we need to take this much area, that surface area only, right? So La upon Ka, in that La is the thickness, this one La, thickness of this slab, Ka is the thermal conductivity, and A is the cross sectional area. Similarly, you can write for thermal resistance B and for the thermal resistance for slab C. Now as we have seen in previous lecture, if I take a single slab of thickness L length, and T1 and T2 are the surface temperatures such that T1 is greater than T2, in that case we can define the heat conduction through a wall by this equation. Q is equal to T1 minus T2 divided by L upon Ka. This L upon Ka is nothing but the resistance, and we need to show this diagram by this electrical analogy, right? Now let's take a look on this diagram. Now for this composite wall, if I consider this single slab, which are the combination of Ka, thermal conductivity of that slab, La is the length or thickness of that slab, T1 and Tab are the temperatures where T1 is greater than Tab. Now in this case, we can write our equation for Q is equal to T1 minus Tab divided by LA upon KAA. KA is the thermal conductivity and A is the cross sectional area. In a similar way, if I consider a second slab, then I can write for Q, that is the heat transfer, TAB minus TBC divided by the thermal resistance, that is LB upon KBA. Now for the third slab, I can write the equation in this way. Is it? So what I have done here, simply I have considered a single slab, and for a single slab I have extracted these expressions. Now since Q is constant throughout each and every slab, so I can rearrange these terms. If I take this expression, this one only, then in that case, if I rearrange the term for temperatures, then it should be T1 minus TAB. This term is equal to, now the denominator will goes to the numerator over here. So QLA divided by KAA. This will be the equation number 1. Similarly, if I do rearrange the terms for the second expression, it will be TA minus TBC is equal to QLB upon KB into A. And if I take the last expression TB minus TC, so it is equal to Q upon QLC divided by KC into A. Now we are having these three equations, and now if I add these three equations, this TAB will get cancelled, TBC will get cancelled, and on the left hand side I will get only T1 minus T2. So let's find out this one. Adding 1, 2 and 3, we get T1 minus T2 is equal to Q, which is common in the three terms, into bracket LA divided by KA into A plus LB divided by KB into A plus LC divided by KC into A. Now if I rearrange this term by taking Q on the left hand side, so Q is equal to, because we need to find out the heat conduction, so Q is equal to T1 minus T2. Now remember here, T1 is the surface temperature of these composite slab. I haven't taken the interface temperatures TAB and TBC. I have taken T1 minus T2, means the phase temperatures is equal Q is equal to divided by this LA upon KA into A. Now as we have seen here, L upon KA is nothing but the resistance. So I can rewrite this equation in this form: T1 minus T2 divided by thermal resistance for first slab plus thermal resistance for the second slab and for the third slab. That ultimately means if I want to know Q for a composite slab, I can write my equation in this way: T1 minus Tn plus 1. Now what is N? N is the number of slabs. So instead of taking here TAB, if I take T2, T4, if I give the sequential numbers, then T1 minus T4 I have to take. So here it is the T1 and T4, which is nothing but T2 in the previous case. So T4. So T1 minus T4 divided by summation of L upon KA. Now L upon KA is the thermal resistance for a single slab. So I have to take for first slab, second, third continuously here. So output of this lecture is to get this equation. So if you are having the number of composite slab having number of slabs, then you have to use this formula. Remember this one. So T1 minus T2 divided by simply addition of all the resistances. Now how to represent by electrical analogy? Here it is the thermal circuit, And now if I want to convert this composite slab into a electrical analogy, the simplest method is you need to represent in each and every slab, you need to represent a single resistance in this way. And the next step is to simply connect it sequentially. So here it is. If I consider here R1, R2 and R3, then they are simply connected by means of series. Now when the resistances are connected in a series, we can find summation of resistances is equal to addition of all these resistances. Right? Now, if the composite slab is in this type of structure, see here there is no single slab. It have two slabs in a single vertical column. If you consider this one, it has only a single slab. In this there are two slabs, and in this column there are three slabs. So we need to follow the same procedure over here. At each and every slab you need to represent a single resistance, right? So I will represent over here single resistances. Now connect it sequentially, and while connecting it, remember that you need to connect in this way. See, for a first slab, for this vertical first slab, there are two resistances. So I will connect it by a parallel mean. If slabs are connected together in this way, we have to connect it by a series. If in a single column 2 or 3 resistances are there, then we need to connect all these 3 or 2 in a parallel way. So this is the first one. If I consider this a second vertical slab, then the R3 single. For third vertical slab, there are 2 intermediate slabs. So I will take here one parallel connection. And again lastly, there are 3 resistances. So I will take here 3, R6, R7 and R8. Now we need to convert this electric circuit into a series electric circuit in this one. So for that we need to find the equivalent resistance. Since R1 and R2 are connected in a parallel way, so if I take a equivalent resistance R12 for this 1 and 2, so I can represent in this way. Similarly, I have to represent for this and this also. So let's find out how the R equivalent can be calculated. So 1 upon R equivalent, when resistances are connected in a parallel way, then 1 upon R equivalent is equal to 1 upon R1 plus 1 upon R2. This is the formula we have to use and find out the R equivalent value and simply put it over here. Now in this connection, R3 as it is. Now here, since it is parallel connection, we need to convert it into equivalent resistance and place it over here in a similar way. Now if you look into this circuit, it is series, it is in series. So after finding the equivalent resistance value, you can add it all these resistances to find the summation of R. This one, summation of R is equal to R equivalent for 1, 2 plus R3 as it is plus R equivalent 4, 5 plus R equivalent 6, 7, 3. Now take one example. A reactor wall of 320 mm thick is made up of an inner layer of fire brick. Thermal conductivity is equal to 0.84 watt per meter degree Celsius. Covered with a layer of insulation, K is equal to 0.16 watt per meter degree Celsius. The reactor operates at a temperature of 1325 degrees Celsius and ambient temperature at 25 degrees Celsius. Now here I can convert this example into a graphical form in this way. Here it is the slab having total thickness is of 320 mm. The first thickness is of fire brick F and second layer is of insulation. Outer surface is at 1325 degrees Celsius and 25 degrees Celsius. Now as you know 1325 is greater than 25, so heat will flow from 1325 to 25 direction. So this is the direction for Q. And now here they have mentioned maximum temperature of 1200 degrees Celsius at this point. That's why it is denoted over here 1200 degrees Celsius. K1 and K2. Now see here, T1 which is 1325, T2 is equal to 1200, T3 which is 25 degrees Celsius, K1 which is the thermal conductivity of fire brick is equal to 0.84 and K2 which is the thermal conductivity of insulation 0.16. Now as you know, if I want to determine the thickness of fire brick and insulation, now let's find out. Since the total length is of 320 mm, I can write here L1 plus L2 is equal to 320 mm. Or I need to convert this into meter, 0.32 meter, so that L2, or you can write here L1 also, L2 which is equal to 0.32 minus L1. So I have to use this one. So as you know, Q upon A, just I have explained, here are the two slabs. So I have take here T1 minus T3, first and last temperature, T1 minus T3 divided by L upon Ka. Now A I have taken to the left hand side, right? So right, is equal to, if I consider a single slab for a fire brick, I have to write here T1 minus T2 divided by L1 upon K1. Similarly, I can write for a second slab T2 minus T3 divided by L2 upon K2. So now consider this equation only. T1 minus T3, this one is equal to T1 minus T2, this one. So if I consider this equation only and put all the values for L1, I have to put L1 as it is. For L2, I have to put 0.32 minus L1. Is it? Now if I solve this equation for the length L1, I will get the value of L1 which is 0.1146 meter. And as you know, L2 is equal to 0.32 minus L1. So you can find over here L2 also. Simply 0.32 minus 0.1146 meter. If you do this, you will get the insulation length. So this first one is completed. Determine the thickness of fire brick and insulation. So the fire brick having L1 thickness and the insulation having L2 thickness. Now let's find out the second one. Heat loss, that is Q upon A. Now we are having the value of L, L1, L2, T1, T2, T3 and K1 and K2. You can use any formula out of this, means you can use this one or this one or this one and find out the value of Q upon A. Let's find out over here by using this formula, because it has a less calculations, right? So T1 minus T2 divided by L1 upon K. If I put the values, right here 1200 I have taken for T2, not the 25, right? So remember here is equal to 916.23 watt per meter square. Remember the unit, because since at the left hand side I have taken Q upon A, so the unit will be watt per meter square. Thank you and stay connected.